Hello, welcome to today's interview session. I am your host, Lynn Michelle, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing a student from the University of Nairobi School of Business, where he will be sharing his experience as a student able differently at the campus. So, thank you for joining us today. Can you briefly tell us about yourself?
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. My name is Wycliffe Nganga. I'm a student of the University of Nairobi doing Bachelor of Commerce, specializing in human resource. I'm also interested in the fields of psychology and web development.
As we start, can you briefly tell us about your condition? Is it something you were born with, or did you acquire it along the way?
No, I was not born. Okay, I was not born blind. I was born sighted, but short-sighted. Then I stayed sighted, learned in the normal curriculum until 9 years. That's when I lost my sight due to retinal detachment. Then I joined a special school for the visually impaired, where I was introduced to Braille. I studied up to class 8, went to high school. Yes, and now I'm in university.
When did you join the University of Nairobi and what exactly inspired you to do business studies?
So I joined the University of Nairobi in the year 2021, September. And the reason why I joined the School of Business to do a business course was uh, I was I was interested in business when I was back in high school, and I also wanted to do something different from what is done. Yeah, I'm used to hearing people do education or law for those who have a visual disability. So I decided I'm going to do something different. Yeah.
You've been here for almost 3 years. Can you tell us how your experience has been? Is it everything you hoped for at the University of Nairobi, or has it been any different?
Yes, I've been here for the last 3 years. The experience has been both favorable and challenging. For the favorable parts, I've been able to make friends, develop my network, and grow as a person. The challenging part was when I joined, for example, there's this problem of the school not providing materials. So I had to really push for that. And when I was in high school, when I had the name University of Nairobi, I always thought that it had everything that I needed because it's a world class university. So I was so disappointed when I came here and found that things were different. I had to push for everything. Like they didn't have an idea, especially the faculty that I'm in. So it has been a learning experience for me.
You said that the school does not provide the materials. Can you describe how a typical day in class or a typical time in class is? How do you interact with the lecturers? How do you get what is being taught? Because mostly business is about mathematics. How do you get that? And do you find yourself answering questions in class? And yeah, how is your day in class?
Um, for a typical day in class, I okay back in let me start from high school. Back in high school, I used Braille in my studies. So when I came to university, I thought I would continue using Braille, which I had to stop because now the school wouldn't provide the Braille and claiming that it was expensive and they did not have the people to to manage such. So what happened? I had to transit into using screen readers, using computers, and in a typical class setting. For example, when I'm starting my semester, I approach my lecturer and inform them of my presence in class. Then when we are learning, I have a certain device called a Braille Me. It's like a modernized type of Braille that okay, it's a note taker. So I take notes with it in class. Then when it comes to exams, I still approach the lecturer and tell them to bring a soft copy. So when the soft copy is brought, I put it in my laptop, type my work, and send it to them through email. Yeah, so a typical day means that okay, okay, I don't have to interact with the lecturer every day. I just need my friends and the notes that the lecturer will send afterward.
What kind of support do you receive from the university, from the lecturers, or even from your classmates, or let me say your friends?
Majorly, the type of support I get from, let me start with my friends. They help me in class. Maybe if I can't, there are some things that are displayed, projected, I mean, that I can't see, and I really need to grasp them. So that's where my friends come in. They also help me in movement. They guide me in school. Okay, I can do it myself because I know the orientation, but it becomes weird when people see me walking alone. So that's where my friends also come in. They also support me in cases where the things I can't do for myself. Okay, I don't mean the personal stuff like personal hygiene or such. Those I do myself. I do them myself. But now things like okay, majorly, let me just stick to movement from one place to another. Okay, the university has given me support too, and the main support they've given is financial support. Like recently, they've given me a scholarship. So I would say the main support I've gotten from the university is the financial support. But in terms of academic support, if I were to rate it at a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it 5. Yeah, we still have a long way to go.
For those joining us now, I am speaking to Wycliffe, a student at the University of Nairobi. He's sharing his experience as a student able differently at the campus. On a normal day, what challenges do you face outside class and how do you overcome these challenges?
Okay, some of the challenges I face, there is this misconception by people that if you have to interact with a person who is differently able, you have to be so careful, like you have to be so you are not yourself. So when you come to me and interact with me, you make me feel weird because you're not being you. So I feel like you're being artificial, and it makes me feel bad because now I have to answer very obvious questions. Like that misconception of the disabled people or the differently abled people are sensitive people. It's one of the challenges I face. So I have to always make people feel free, which sometimes it's a big task, and sometimes it becomes annoying because you will find you find some people, they will come today, they will interact with you today. You try to make them feel free with you. The other day they forget. You try to make them feel free. I don't know why people are stuck to that notion. Then there is another challenge of, you see this big you see topics like let me give an example of drugs, using drugs, the sexual stuff. Some people think that even the differently abled people don't engage in such topics. It's like an abomination to engage in such topics or even do the acts. And now that's a misconception because we are still people. We still have our flaws. We still have our strengths. So that misconception is another challenge. Sometimes you want to engage in such topics when people are talking about them, but they kind of sideline you, saying that you can't, you can't have the knowledge of such topics. Then, yeah, I would say those. Also, as a person with disability, with a differently abled person, I also have aspirations. Maybe I want to be a leader. Maybe I want to work in certain positions in school. So I have to prove myself so much to get that position because now they think if we give this person the position, they might not be capable, they might not perform, and that's not true. So I have to prove um, more than like a person that doesn't have a disability.
How do you find the accessibility of extracurricular activities and other social events around campus?
I would say they're accessible because, for example, the social events that happen in school, And when a bus is provided, I don't think I'm denied the chance to like to board that bus and go to the events. And during the events, I'm also given a chance to ask questions. I've never seen a case where because you are differently abled, you are denied the chance of expressing yourself. For the extra curricular activities, I think there should be they call it what improvements. The school should partner more with these organizations that deal with differently abled students, because now if you come to the University of Nairobi, you might find some people excelling in sports, but because now you are differently abled, the school doesn't have the necessary infrastructure to cater for that. So you find that maybe the skill, talent you had dies off because you are not nurturing it. Yes, I would say that there should be improvements in that area.
So, as we come to the end, what do you feel or what do you think the students and the university can do to be more inclusive and more supportive?
Some of the things I think the university should do to make to be more supportive and inclusive are conducting workshops with the lecturers to teach or guide them on how to make the courses more accessible. Some of the things that we do in this courses, like you said before, I'm doing a business course which has maths. Some of the things are so uh, are so complicated that we need a little time to grasp them, and some of the lecturers might not understand that or might not know how to teach them. So I feel like the university should invest in these workshops, benchmarking also with other universities that have excelled in the disability inclusivity, even the universities abroad. I think there are universities abroad that have really excelled in such areas, and if the university would benchmark with them, would be at a better place in terms of inclusivity.
So, Wycliffe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me too.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. So, what would your parting shot be?
My parting shot would be: I believe that university is the best place I've ever been, because of the personal growth I've experienced and the different options in courses that I can do. I believe that making education inclusive, especially in the university level, it's a critical thing to be done.
Thank you for tuning in today. I have been your host, Lynn Michelle. Until next time, goodbye.